What's going on, guys? You already know, another day, another flash sheet. It's Monday night, working on another sheet for the set. Trying to get this set done by this set of 12 done this week. That's the goal. And so only way to do that is to just keep moving forward. So if you've been keeping up with my other videos, I appreciate that. I've already gotten most of this sheet done. I just don't want to make a series of videos for one sheet or a super long video. So I just feel like it's best to complete most of the sheet and then start filming. I just don't have enough to talk about for this sheet right here is probably taking 3-4 hours. So, that's a pretty long time to just be watching someone painting and talking. I just don't, I know I wouldn't be invested in a video that long. So I don't want to do that to you guys. So, yeah, so we're working on this sheet here. Adding the blue. And then we'll add some red and that'll be it. I think if I'm accurately judging this sheet, I think this is really getting close to how I wanted these colors to work together. Even though I've been using muted colors this whole time, I feel like the other sheets have been fairly bold and bright. And I think it's because I've been using a lot of red and yellow and even this blue. I've been making them the stars of the show. But this yellow and brown, this green and burnt sienna, this olive and burnt sienna is really doing something for me as the main showcase of this sheet. Really liking the way it's holding its place. So per usual, I'm just winging it. Thinking that, see on this side how it came up like that, I don't think I should have done that. I think I should have left it like this. Watch this. Gradient coming through here, coming down, just like that. Keep that bright, and then I could put yellow in those areas there. I think that's what I should have done. So what we're gonna do is take this water here, see if we can erase this for the most part. You know, see what we can do. And like I said before, that's one of the things I really like about these watercolors more than using ink and acrylics and stuff is you can re-wet them, and I mean, you're not gonna get perfect paper white again, but it's close enough to get the point, in my opinion. I mean, whatever, right? Just make all that a little bit darker, just so that there's actually paint on the paper to fade out. You know, if the paint is on there too thin, then it's hard to make a fade from it. And then come in here. I'm winging it, no pun intended. This is really off the cuff. I don't know what the hell that is. So I guess what I'm doing here is I'm doing all the blue and then I'm gonna fade it. So we'll go ahead and move on to this sun over here. Oh yeah, I made a mistake over here as well. Gotta lift off all this yellow because that's supposed to be blue. And when I say supposed to be blue, it's not because I'm following some kind of guide or reference. It's that I put the yellow down and realized that I didn't like it and I would rather put blue there. Learning by doing, learning through mistakes is one of the intentions of this set of Flash. Take that, that's fine. That blue is entirely too dark now. This water dries up pretty fast. So you gotta make sure you're kind of re-wetting your paint. Nice and easy. Nothing crazy. So I've got this sort of mirror situation going on. So what I'm doing is, even though I'm using the same color palette, I'm thinking about them differently. So this sun is warm, it's bright. Having this sort of blue shadow behind it is gonna, when I put this red in there, is really gonna pull it out and pop it forward. And then same thing going on here. This is kind of a cool situation. So I'm gonna have a little bit of red in the background to push that coolness forward and really make it the star of the show, ideally. That's what I have in my head. And we'll find out in real time if the way I picture it is going to work for the reality of the situation. Okay, and then last thing for the blue was these things right here. These are supposed to be blue. If you are a flash painter, new to flash painting, and you need advice, first of all, I'm honored that you would think I'm capable of giving advice on this, or that I'm a value, what's the word I'm looking for? Certified or credible to be giving advice on this. But if you feel that way and you want to ask me some questions, I've already said before that I'm a proponent of gatekeeping. So I'm not really going to just be giving away information. I'm not really going to be charging for it either. It's pretty much just going to be a matter of vibe. You know, if you seem like a cool person who genuinely cares and wants to grow together, then, you know, I think that might be cool. But if you just want some information so that you can go dilly-dally, probably not going to be the guy you should be hoping to get anything out of. It's just better that way. Some things are magical because people don't know how you did that. And I'm not saying that these are magical, but I am saying that with how readily accessible so much information around tattooing has become, a lot of the magic of tattooing is also getting lost. And this little thing known as flash is such an integral part of tattooing, and something that is still not as mainstream as many other aspects of tattooing. I feel like it's almost more precious to gatekeep now more than ever. To me, painting flash really is the difference between a real tattooer and someone who just does tattoos. When you paint flash, I mean, you're carrying on a real tradition from the forefathers. That's just my opinion. And not everyone is, I don't want to say worthy, but it took me a long time to even be able to do this, to find information on how to do this. And I think that time it takes to find this information and the sort of struggle you have to go through is part of what qualifies you to have this information. You gotta earn it. You gotta show how much you really want to be a part of this, because there's so many that are in this now as truly as a consumer corporate capitalist scheme, just like any other thing in that, along those lines. And I think it's our job, partly as tattooers, to keep the essence of tattooing and to protect it from people who just want to be a part of a fad, or what they perceive to be a get-rich-quick scheme, because so many of these people on Instagram have made it appear that way. There's nothing easy about being a tattooer. In fact, I don't know why anyone would want this job, except for if it's something that you would just truly love and feel connected to and inspired by. I think that's part of the reason why I do paint flash, is because it keeps me connected. I think it's easy when you're not painting flash to start creating commodities and products and thinking for what sells. And while tattooing is a way to make a living, it's still an art, and while there are recurring things that make tattoos look good or work, it's still more than a simple commodity. At least in my opinion. But I feel that way about all art, really. I'm not really... This is about the closest I'm willing to get to consumer art. I get it, we have to make a living as artists, and this is my way of doing that. But I'm not willing to really get much further in to the selling out your soul kind of gig. It's interesting to me when I see people who are tattoo artists, but that is the only sort of form of art that they do, And it's not even really that they're making art. They're just finding stuff that they think is cool on the internet and just doing that on skin. And I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna end up going down a rabbit hole of I guess talking out of my my ass, and I'm not trying to do that. But I genuinely just don't understand how you can feel fulfilled with that when there's all of this other stuff, so much more of a vast well of experience of being a tattooer that's available, you know. And that's why I'm saying that, you know, you gotta kind of earn that stuff, because there's people in here that, you know, might say they want that, but they really don't. It's all just part of the image, you know. I heard somebody say the other day that their friend was gonna do some Japanese flash. Said, that's great. Hand painted? Probably not. And furthermore, in my opinion, something like Japanese tattooing requires years of studying. And I guess, you know, making some Japanese flash is a way to start. But that's kind of what I'm saying is, like, you've got something like Japanese tattooing, which is like a very important sort of rite of passage to become a Japanese style tattooer. You know, most people go through extensive training with real masters before they're even willing to say that they made some Japanese anything. But then you've got other people like this guy who, since he says he's gonna do it, then that's Japanese flash. What's the big deal? It's just not really, to me, it's a lack of respect for how things are done. And the reason why you need that respect is because it's something that's been refined over generations, so that you know it's Japanese, it's distinct, it's done a certain way. And it's done a certain way because it's been refined, because they know what works and what doesn't work and what is Japanese. There's so much lore behind stuff. You know, people do a dragon and it's not a Japanese dragon, but they think that since it's a dragon, it's got to be a Japanese dragon. Those little things count. All that little stuff counts. To me, at least. So, I don't know, that's my little shtick on that. It just is odd to me. Okay, so pretty much all I have left to do on this sheet is the red. And then I think I might do a little bit of yellow here in those feathers. Ooh, I just remembered that I needed to do some blue. In there. See, I really like how laid back this sheet is. Nothing's really like popping out. It's more like a discovery. It almost looks like it's just been sitting in the sun too long, or super old. And I could put some kind of crackle varnish over this and really do the whole works on it and make it look super old and vintage, but I'm not gonna do that. However, I do have some smaller works that I'm gonna be putting out soon. All repaints as well, really, because I wanna get all these reps in. I might do some of those with the thing around the crackle varnish. Just pushing the paint back into place. Back in here, maybe. Just really make that blue. Okay. And then time for some red. This red will finish it off. Make it look nice and put together. So hopefully you can already see how this red is really making that blue and yellow pop. And just really bringing the whole image together. Almost forgot to do that. That really brings it together big time. Really changes it. I feel like I need to stop doing these videos at night because I'm tired. It's not too much to talk about. I actually got to do this sun one the other day in a completely different color palette, and I changed a few things in terms of the way I tattooed it. Actually, I had a lot of black here in the hand, which I probably didn't need. I mean, the tattoo looked great. She loved it, but it was fairly different from the way I've rendered these. Always loose, always intentional. Don't really care if I go on to the line or a little bit over. Give her the old classic. That's what I call those. Okay. And now we go back. This one, it's crazy how I thought I'd only have like 20 minutes left on this when I started this video, and we're at 37 minutes. It's funny whenever I'm tattooing someone and my lady's asking me how much longer I've got, every time I'm like, yeah, it's probably 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Next thing I know, an hour and a half has gone by and I'm almost done. It never fails. I don't know why my timing is so off, but it's like when I'm making art, I go into this like wormhole, not where time moves slower, but it's like it speeds up. Like it's moving really slow to me, but in reality, it's moving really fast. So I figured a little bit of red going around that star would just kind of tie it all together. Yeah, see, I think that looks really cool. I always keep a towel next to me. Wipe off the color on that. If you have noticed my hand kind of going off camera and then coming back real fast, that's what I'm doing. I'm wiping off my paintbrush. think little spiky looking things were a little bit threatening looking. So just some rosy cheeks, I think, are a little bit better for an angel. Don't really like this red I put in the mouth here. So I'm trying to kind of push it back. Not really working though. There we go. Okay. Over here. Get this rock in. Almost there. I appreciate you guys just watching, even when I'm not talking. Sometimes I feel the need to, or I feel bad for not talking. But sometimes it's hard to talk and focus on the painting at the same time. So in my moments of silence, those of you who continue watching, I just want to say I appreciate you. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is add a little bit of yellow in here. if I should add it into there or coming off the top.